Sneaker Gears, my name is Levi. Welcome to another Performance Gears episode where today we're doing the initial review on the Adidas T-Mac Millenium. Alright, so I've finally been able to go through the entire Adidas basketball lineup, so I will have a full breakdown. I'm not sure how you guys want me to do it, so please put in the comments below if you want me to do a versus or if you want me just to do the entire lineup, but it's definitely something I wanted to break down. But for today, it's really looking at the T-Mac Millenium, and this is the most expensive Adidas Boost basketball shoe that they've released. This is $160, and this takes the pinnacle of really being the ultra boost of basketball. Prior to the T-Mac Millenium, I would say that the Crazy Explosive 1, or the first edition, and I want to say this was in 2016, this was, to me, kind of the ultra boost of basketball. This was the most plush for 17 or an 18, I guess when they, next year, model year, they did make it a little bit firmer, so it wasn't as plush. So this was the most plush I've seen. Now, this model year, they did have boost in the Harden 3, they've had boost in the Marquee, so I was hesitant to get the T-Mac because, come on, we already have boost, we already have a low top. I actually really like the Hardens. What is this offering? So I'm glad, guys, obviously check out eBay. I was able to get a really good deal on these, so I went ahead, got them, and I'm really glad I did. And there's some really key differences on this versus anything else, and just like the Ultra Boost 2019, you get what you pay for. Starting with the fit, this is actually using what feels like raw materials, but I'm not sure they are. So we'll have some close-ups here, but essentially it does feel kind of like a leather, whether it be synthetic or not, but it feels nice. It actually molds to the foot pretty quickly. I already have a lot of crease marks here. Played in these a little bit over an hour, and I'll get into why. I don't know if I'll have to do a full review. Essentially, where this stuff just molds fast. I mean, there's creases everywhere. You can see, I don't know if you can tell the creases in the toe box, creases on the side here. I mean, this is something that really molds to your foot very quickly, where it's not too thick, but it gives you a lot more support and wraparound than something just like the knit on the Harden 3, and way more support than what you're getting on something like the Marquee. So off the bat, this is going to be one of the most supportive, if not the most supportive boost version. I would say the Dame 5 is going to give you a bit more support, but fit wise, this fits a lot kind of like how the Dame is, except much wider. I mean, you can definitely go down half a size for normal footers. If you're a wide footer, go true to size, but this is something I was able to go with my true size 12, and I still actually have a little bit of room in the forefoot, so it tells me maybe I could have gone down half a size. The lockdown, it is a traditional lacing system, nothing special. You're able to torque this down. I always love the angle, and that makes a big difference of where you tighten it here. You want kind of more of an angle here so it draws you back into the heel, and in that aspect it does a really good job. So the fit overall, I really like it as a wide footer. I think all my wide footers out there, all those with a high instep because of the way the tongue is, you are gonna love this shoe. Now, I have ran into a few customers, or I shouldn't say customers, subscribers who had issues with heel lockdown on other shoes. This has a decently nice padded heel area, as well as it comes up on the heel with that additional kind of support through the heel cup and that leather band. So even if you have kind of a narrow heel or a low instep, I think you're still gonna be able to get a nice fit on this. Working our way down to support, it is a completely flat, very wide base. I don't know if there's an internal shank. I know for Adidas they usually kind of have that torsion plate in there, and the way it feels like there's something in there. Otherwise, the fact that the boost is so thick, not necessarily think you need it. If you guys recall the volume 1, this definitely takes cues from that, whereas you can tell where it kind of has that toe area where there's that additional overlay on top of the shoe. And again, if you're doing step backs, if you're doing anything where you have those hard lateral movements, having this additional rubber piece coming up, having the additional overlay over the shoe really aids in the lockdown and the lateral support, and it's kind of needed when you have this much boost. And that's nice about it, this boost for the most part is completely exposed. Unlike on the Marquee, unlike on the Harden, even though it is exposed, there's still some some containment. There's not much containment in the forefoot at all. So I know one of my subscribers said, hey, he doesn't like the forefoot feeling on a lot of the Boost shoes just because it does get kind of dead. And again, that's for a push off so you can feel quick. Whereas this, you still have a nice Boost feel in the toe as well as in the heel. And you know, let's get into the cushion. That's the creme de la creme in this. The Boost on this is ridiculous. This is the most plush shoe on the market. Only real competition is going to be from your KD11, and this was a combination of React and full length Zoom, and this was a very plush ride. It wasn't really bouncy, but the containment on this was very lackluster to say the least, and we'll have a full KD11 versus KD12 comparison, but the containment on this is obviously drastically better. And then on top of that, the Boost, even though it's super plush, it's wide enough base, you feel supported enough where you can still play fairly quick. And I use the word fairly because at the end of the day, this is a plush shoe. This is like you're running on a marshmallow. So you don't feel ultra fast. You don't feel like you have the quickest motion. So everything else holds up. Everything else does its job, from the traction, the support, to the fit. But at the end of the day, this is a super plush, marshmallowy ride. It is really nice. Like I said, the closest thing to this is the KD11. I did play about 3 hours with this in the first hour. Second hour, I played in the LeBron lows. And then finally, I was playing in the Jordan 33 SE lows, and it was kind of cool to go from shoe to shoe to shoe and get a feel for that. But the LeBron lows, very similar. That's going to be a very competitive balance between this and that, but the LeBron lows still give you somewhat of a firm push off, but you do have that bounce when you run and when you jump. This is plush no matter what you do. When you run, you get a bounce. When you're walking, you feel just plush. This is, I think, as much casual as much as is a high performing basketball shoe. Finally, the traction. It's using good old herringbone. That's what Adidas is all about from 2018, 2019. And it's using that beefy herringbone that we're seeing every now and then, where you have some on the edges, on the side. So very similar to what we've seen on all the Adidas models, but it's funny how they've all been slightly different. The herringbone used on the Marquee is slightly different than what's used on the T-Mac, and then the Harden 3, and then finally even what's used on the Dame 5 and the Next Level all use a version of herringbone. This herringbone was one I did need to wipe because it did collect dust, but it bit really hard, and the wiping was gradual as far as the dust collection. So when I kind of felt when I had to wipe it. The only problem is when you're comparing this to the LeBron Low and the Jordan 33 SE, this is definitely not up to those standards. The LeBron Low, I think I had to wipe once within the hour, and I never had to wipe the Jordan 33, to give you guys an idea. And those are elite traction. That is up there with some of the best all time. This is just a really, really good traction, maybe a hair below, but no issues. I don't think I would change it or update it. This is nice. It's consistent. It bites hard. That gum rubber is durable. It is a really, really good traction, and this is probably as best as you're going to do with your herringbone traction. And I think this has been the best of the bunch from the Adidas in my experience. Now, each one of the Adidas shoes, depending what colorway you get, with clear soles, with colored soles, with gum rubber bottoms, even if you have a really good traction pattern, the materials they use do make a difference. And in my experience from all the ones that I have, the gum rubber always does a little bit better. So that's a nod to this guy. I know the black one I think has a gum rubber bottom as well, but the traction on this, absolutely solid. All right, so wrapping it up, I know this was an initial review and I only played it an hour, but like I said, if you played in Adidas shoes, I don't know if there's going to be much more to break in. That Boost doesn't need break-in, so you're pretty solid there. The traction was really good. Like I said, I had to wipe it a few times just because of dust, but it didn't need really real break-in. And then the fit was just really nice after that hour of play, just the way it molds my foot. So obviously, maybe we can expect more, but I'm going to do some comparisons with that. if you already own something like the Harden Volume 3, which is awesome, you can get these on sale. It probably has twice the cushion. So if you wanted the low top and you're partial to the Harden Volume 3, the T-Mac is a nice alternative where you have something that's a little bit lighter, a little bit quick playing, a lot more court feel, and then you have something that's a lot more plush, obviously a little bit heavier, but just two different styles of play depending how your legs feel, how your feet feel. These are going to complement each other really well, obviously both being low tops. If you're coming from something like the Crazy Explosive, whether it was the 1 or the 2, either one of those, this is also going to be a really nice upgrade. The T-Mac line, for whatever reason they called it the T-Mac, it kind of took the place of the Crazy Explosive since they went to Crazy Bounce and they kind of messed up what they were doing there. And although I thought the Marquee was going to be the high cushion option for Adidas's lineup, it is, but it's a very different experience. I think maybe I like that better, but this is going to be definitely my kind of off day shoe, or I did legs or I did squats, deadlifts, my legs are feeling just tired. This is something that's giving me a nice balance base. That boost really feels nice on the knees. So this is going to be definitely in my rotation, taking that spot as far as a high cushion option. And that's from kind of the running world. If you have any running shoes, or if you are a runner, that's something you kind of want to have different shoes depending on the day. If you go for a long run, you want something a little bit more cushioned, and that's kind of where this slots in. So definitely very impressed with this. We'll have a full comparison. Guys, really want your feedback as far as what you want to see. Do you want to see this compared to anything? Are you interested in this, or is this kind of like, who cares? I don't like the way it looks. It's a T-Mac, big deal. I think it was worthwhile. It was just interesting to see the style and the name they went with, the T-Mac Millenium. Shout out to T-Mac. I mean, they could have called this a Crazy Explosive, 2019 Boost or whatever they call it, but it is a high cushion, great option from Adidas. Well done, 3-star. If you like that video, give it a thumbs up. As always, subscribe down to the bottom. We will have new videos coming out every few days. We're trying to ramp it up here, so you guys can definitely hit the little bell on the bottom so you can get alerts when those videos are coming out. We will be comparing next the KD12 to the KD11, as well as finishing up the reviews on the LeBron Low, as well as the Jordan 33 SE, and then seeing how those stack up against the best of the competition. So a lot of material coming up here. Guys, let me know what you think. All my hoopers out there, really appreciate you. Definitely try to respond to any comments you guys leave down there below. As always, this is Levi with Sneaker Gears. Really appreciate you, and I'll come back at you later.